Welcome, ladies. Woo, woo. We are in for a treat. My name is Bianca N, and I have a special, lovely guest here with me, Dawnielle Smith, who we will meet and speak with in a moment. But just wanted to let you know you are in the right place. I am the founder of Behind the Confident Smile, where we inspire women to walk in love, live in hope, and be healed from past hurts. And on today, we are talking about purpose. The title of this series is Let's Talk Purpose. Ladies, it is time for us to walk in our purpose, to be activated in our purpose, and to go higher in our purpose. And if you are wondering, what's my purpose? What does purpose even mean? I went to the dictionary just for us. So, purpose, the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. So we are talking about why were we created? Why do I even exist? And Dawnielle was kind enough to share with us today her journey to uncovering her purpose and what that looked like and what that means. So she is learning to discover life through a new lens. As a child, she experienced in-home domestic violence, and she is currently on a pursuit of living life and living it through wholeness and being fully joyful, right? And as a professional social worker and currently employed as an assistant principal, Dawnielle stays in tune with understanding how trauma affects our social, emotional, physical, and spiritual well-being. She is the founder of Becoming Secure. Y'all should check her out on Instagram, Becoming Secure, and her blog. And she's helping to build secure women in Christ. And she's the author of Taking Breaks with Jesus. Welcome, Dawnielle. We are so excited to have you today. So,
thank you, Bianca.
My pleasure. Before we dive into your journey, is there anything else you want to share with us about who you are?
I think I would say that I never really felt like I was the securest person in the world. Like I didn't always know who I was, and I would say because of my childhood, knowing, like understanding it more has helped me to heal and understand myself so much more. So I would say that my journey has been broad and a lot, but between, domestic violence in the home, between having depression as a teen, suicidal as a teen, there's so many ups and downs, and it is a journey. So, but through that journey, God's been with me the entire way. And so it's just enjoy it, learning how to enjoy it. And I would say I'm definitely at a place where I'm learning to enjoy it.
That's good to hear, especially now, like enjoying, enjoying life through living through a pandemic, right? And civil unrest, enjoying. So, what is your purpose? Share with us. What's your purpose? How did you come to this realization of what your purpose is?
So, purpose is such a big thing, right? So, it's like, what is your purpose? And I'm like, I don't know. I went through this spell. God, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What am I supposed to do? I always envisioned it as owning something, or like what I call now an assignment, right? So maybe I'm working now as an assistant principal. That's not my purpose. That is just part of my assignment. And I use my purpose every day. And so it took me forever though, because I was so lost. I didn't feel like I was identified. I felt like everybody else had strengths and a purpose, and I don't see where mine is at. And so I've come that really my purpose is to help heal people, heal their hearts. And I would say particularly women, but whoever God puts in front of me, I'm going to help support. And I would say to do that, I do that in a way of helping people understand where they've come from, how it has affected them, and how to and become whole in it.
Mm.
So let's take depression. So I know people and I've worked with people that have had depression, and a lot of times people feel like they're always going to be stuck in that. And so I help bring an understanding to what that looks like and why that's there. So a lot of times what I say to people very simply is depression is suppressed emotions, right? Like feelings and anger, and it can definitely be a clinical diagnosis as well with an imbalance, right? And
Right.
so I try to bring a lot of clarity and very simplistic analogies to help people understand,
Really
and
do.
then I also give them practical tips of what to do with that.
Hmm.
So I guess kind of what I've seen it is how I've overcome, and that's why my blog is called Become Your. The things that I've gone through, and as I've learned things, and I'm able to see things differently, I then share how I've overcome something.
So you hit on something uh, real good. I don't know if you heard it, but I heard it about how your childhood and home domestic violence, and how your purpose is to help heal people, heal hearts, and connecting those two with maybe something that you needed, and now you are the solution to what you needed,
Hmm. Yes,
and
that
how
is it.
that's playing out now. And just I'm so help us to understand, how did you come to this moment, like, oh yes, I'm going to start a blog, becoming secure, and you're like, I don't even feel secure because I have all these bags that I'm still carrying. So walk us through that. How did you get to the point of, I'm going to start a blog and help women?
Well, it's like, I guess while I was journeying and asking, like, where am I? What am I supposed to be doing? Like, I asked those questions, So for me, I asked those questions to God. I also asked those questions internally. What do I love doing? What can I do? What do I enjoy doing without needing to get paid for it?
Mm.
Okay, so it's probably easier for other people to see this than times. And it was hard for me to see it because I didn't see it, the things that I was doing, as a purpose. So I love making little gifts, personalizing them. I love helping people. I love putting things together to help someone in whatever time they're in. I get creative in all different ways, even if it's going as far as saying, oh, I'm going to create like a pretend restaurant in my house, and you're going to come over and I'm going to give you some time to yourself and I'm going to treat you, so things like that I've done, and people be like, you're so creative. Like, I can't believe you did this. Why did you
And
already?
believe me, I am a recipient of Dawnielle's creativity. Every time she gives me a gift, I'm like, oh, it spoke to my heart. Literally. So it is definitely a gift to her.
Yeah, and I didn't see that as a gift. I saw that as a talent. That's not purpose. How do you put that in a blog, or how do you put that somewhere? How do you do something with that? And so I would say that through a lot of questioning, through even talking to other people about how they saw me, I would also say I had to visit my past,
Mm.
understand what was going on with me. And we just don't go through things in our past for any particular reason. It's like, oh, just in vain. Just let me see how far you can get through this. It's always for a reason. And so I started going through counseling and going to church and getting support and understanding, journal a whole lot. I have so many journals.
Yes,
and
me too.
and it's allowed me to really explore, really, like, what has happened to me and how that's made me a better person.
Mm.
Um, It's made me ultra sensitive and aware of other people when they're struggling through things. So I tend to be a little bit more compassionate in those areas. It also makes me want to treat other people differently than how I felt I was treated. So through those asking questions, talking to people, going through counseling, I started seeing myself, right? Like I had to have an understanding of who I was, not fully, but to some extent. And I had to start, like, I literally got a list and I started writing down on a piece of paper all the things that I'm good at and I love doing. And I started recognizing like trends. Okay, so I can remember being a kid and talking to this little jaundice. I didn't know she was yellow, right? And I'm like, oh, I want to be your friend. And and I didn't understand until maybe I was like 26, 27, right? That's fast forward by 10, 15 years. And I noticed that I gravitate to people that seem to be left out and want to help them or support them. And I was like, wow, I can see that all the way back in my childhood. So my purpose has always been with me. Just to go back and look at that and identify that. And I would say I couldn't have done that without the help of the Holy Spirit and other people, community. So fast forward.
You just shared so much.
I know.
I want to reiterate a few gems you just gave. So ladies, listen. Dawnielle just said she reflected on her past. So she did a lot of introspective work, a lot of hard work, which is hard work. And it could take time. It's not something to rush through. She went to therapy. She found a church home that she can get into. Maybe everybody isn't a believer, but finding something that you can anchor your soul and your spirit to, that gives you hope, right? And you come to terms with that for yourself. And also being in community with people who can be your mirror and say, well, you've always done it since you were a kid. Like you just have been that way. You naturally do that. Since you were born, you would sing or dance or give people gifts or help those who are left out. I ask your community, what do you see in me? What have you noticed about me since you've known me? Get a journal, write. Or if you're not a writer, get on YouTube, create YouTube videos and keep it private. Like talk to yourself, find some way to get it out, right? So she dropped a lot of gems there. I just wanted to reiterate that before she continue on.
Thank you. You did such a good job with that. And so in that process, I would say I started to have a desire, like I just have a desire. Believing in that was a lie, and that's why I do this. So like an example, I have always been a people pleaser. And I started to ask God, and ask myself, why do I exhaust myself to the point of getting sick because I don't know how to say no and I don't know how to sit down? There was so sick, I was out of work for 5, 6, 7 days, and I never missed work, and I couldn't get out of the bed. And I knew it was because I kept going back to back to back to back. I wouldn't sit down and get proper sleep. I was always helping. I was taking people here. I was doing this baby shower here. I was doing all of this stuff. And so, yeah, I enjoyed, and part of it was purpose, but it was out of order. And that's big. So learn self-love and how, a lot of times we want to put everybody first. And in that, I had to learn that I have to love myself first and then others. And
that's
so
real good. Let's dig into that point right there.
Yeah.
Purpose is powerful, y'all. Purpose can keep you up at night because you're on the adrenaline kick. Trust me, I know. You're like, I'm just so excited. But we also need to refuel ourselves, need to take care of ourselves, and have to understand when to shut it off when to say today is my day. I may not be taking phone calls today or responding to text messages in this moment because I need to rest. I need to love on me. In order for me to operate, I must get rest. I must eat. I must exercise. I must drink water. I must do whatever I need to do so I can be able to pour out from my overflow, not from my reserve tank.
Yep. Because you're not going to be good to anybody that way. And you're definitely not going to be good to the people around you, because they're going to be like, you're sucking the life out of me because you don't have enough for yourself. So now you're taking what little I got left.
Right. Oh, why she got an attitude? Why she laughing? I just asked one question. It's because I'm tired. And so, because I don't know how to advocate for myself and say, you know what, can you save your questions till tomorrow? Can I get back to you later? I'm trying to push through to help you, but in the wrong spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. And I as I learned those things, right? Like that in particular, as I learned that, I was like, man, people about this. I can't be the only one that has knowledge to this. I can't be the only one that understands. I see so many people that struggle with this. I'm not the only one that struggles with people pleasing. I gotta help these people, right? So that's what burns inside of me. Like that's purpose, right? That burns in me. And so however that happens, if it's through a blog or if it's through gifts or whatever it is, being on the computer or being online or YouTube videos, it's that itself. The avenue and how you do it isn't the purpose. That's just a way of getting it to people. And so that's when I desired to start writing. And that's when I desired to start speaking. So I think I had started with Periscope and I was so afraid. And I was like, there's no way I'm going to get on there and share anything. But as clear as day, I looked at the pitcher of water in my fridge and I was like, oh, that looks so good. Why a pitcher of water in my fridge, right? That was the question that came to my mind. Oh, well, in case people come over, if they're thirsty, they need to hydrate themselves.
Right.
Oh, that's the same thing with the revelation that I've gotten or the insight that I've gotten. If somebody needs it and I have it, aren't I supposed to help quench their thirst? And so I took all my courage and I got on Periscope and I got feedback from like 1,000 people had seen it, probably 2 to 4 people. And so I was like, okay, I'll start a blog. You know, it wasn't that easy. I sat on it because I didn't feel like it was going to be enough or people would read it. And then I met Bianca N, you all. Literally met her on a Friday night at a bowling outing. And she asked me, I said, what are you doing? And I talked about painting. I talked about, and she goes, oh, you have it all together? I said, yeah, I just kind of got to finish up some things and launch it. She was like, oh, I'll text you on Sunday to make sure you launch it. I was like, who is she?
And mind you, I just met her. I don't know her,
Totally.
but I saw greatness, and I was like, she's sitting on this, y'all. Maybe she just need a push.
That is really what I need. A little kick, but because she texted me, she followed up, and I kid you not, I hadn't been working on it over the weekend. I hadn't thought about it. I kind of thought about it. I was like, whatever. I was like, fine. I got on my computer. I did some things. I pushed that sucker out in an hour and launched it live.
Yes, and that was 3 years ago now.
Yep.
Just about. Right? So, y'all, don't sit on your purpose. It may be stuff on your computer or your cell phone right now where you might have wrote an entire book. You're like, well, who's gonna read it? I don't know how. Like the excuses that we come up with, right? And when you switch your mindset and say, you know what, I do want to do this, Lord, direct me. The doors start to open. They start to open. Every time I make up my mind about something, the answer is right there. But as long as I say, I don't know, I don't feel like it, like I am my biggest hindrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just spoke to me right there. Something else I'm about to push out.
Yes, give birth to those things, y'all. Stop waiting on the right moment. When is the right moment? When will we ever have all the knowledge that we need? That's why it's so important for us to live in community, because I have certain gifts. Dawnielle got certain gifts. The next person next to her has gifts. But if we don't converse and say, this is what is on my heart to do, they won't know how to help me, and I won't know how to help them.
Yep.
Birth purpose.
Yes, birth it. And I'm telling you, as you do it, I wouldn't say it becomes easier.
No.
But it's almost like a fire gets started though, and it's like, you know, when all it takes is a spark, and then there's an ignite, and it becomes ignited, and you're just like, oh, okay, and it's easy to get burned out, and it doesn't have to look like you're always productive, right? So I think I struggle with that. There may be seasons where you're taking a break and having a child, or taking a break because work is very stressful, and okay. And all of a sudden disappeared. I mean, it's still there again. So
yeah, it's important. She hit on another good point, y'all. It's important to know the season. It's a season for everything. Literally everything. I get asked this question a lot. Bianca, how do you do it all? I don't. I don't, y'all. It's a season for everything. Know when the season is for you to start that organization or that for-profit, or write the manuscript to your book. And then another season, you may actually produce the book and push it out to the public. And one season, you may be focusing on your family because you just got married, or you just started in ministry at your church, or you are cultivating relationships in your life in a way that you've never done before. Like, and I'm speaking from experience with every season. There have been seasons where I had much to do, and seasons where God sat me down, was like, I just need you to focus on literally baking this baby in your stomach. Like, and that's it. And being okay with that. And I wasn't okay with that, y'all, because I like to go. But in those seasons of stillness, he taught me how to be still, and the power of still, even in your purpose. And because it's your purpose, it's with you, it's in you. So it's not like you can outrun it.
yeah, you do it anyway, and you just don't necessarily recognize it. I remember I was a social worker in the schools for 6 years before I became an assistant principal. And I remember going to a new church and just getting some language to things, right? Like sometimes we are already doing things and we just don't have a certain language of understanding what it is that we're doing. And as I was sitting under some teaching, I was like, that's what is that? I do that all the time at work. I didn't know that's what that was. I'm thinking I was just a good social worker. I was just very intuitive and understanding. No, I would sit at the table in meetings and tell families like, oh, did your child have a problem with this when they were a baby? I sense that she struggles with this because of this. This comes from her detachment with her father. And it was like, okay, yeah, some of that, and some of that is just giftings and your ability to be insightful prophetically, you know, the Lord speaking through you. And I do it every day and didn't even realize it.
Yes. So would you say now you are more conscious of living out your purpose daily, or you just still flow with it unconsciously?
I would say I still it flows unconsciously. Like I don't even recognize it. So when I got the questions for this tonight, I was like, how do I walk it out daily? And I was like, how do I walk my purpose out daily? I don't know. What do I do it daily? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I do it daily in how I may talk to someone and how I may help or support someone. It does. It just flows daily. Now, there are some days where I have to be intentional. A blog sometimes comes out in a flow, but sometimes I have to be disciplined and just say, nope, you're sitting down because you have to write another one and you're going to do it. I have to do that for myself with certain things. And that's where Bianca comes in, help you all. As accountability, because it's easy to get distracted. And it's easy to run away from something that makes you feel vulnerable, because you're kind of a little bit, but it really does make a difference for people. And then it's like, once you release it, it's different. I don't know how to explain it other than if you hold on to something that you're meant to be doing, it almost causes a depression. For me, it causes me to feel like I don't have purpose or like I'm out of place. And so it's really just kind of doing what you need to do because somebody else needs it, and it brings a release and a freedom.
You just answered my next question naturally. It was, what's the purpose of living in purpose? She answered it already, y'all. When you don't live in purpose, you feel stuck.
Yes, that's a good way to say it.
You may start to feel depressed, confused, lacking energy for life because you are not operating in your lane to the fullest of whatever you have in that day. And some barriers to walking in your purpose is fear and comparison and looking at life with the glass half full. It's like, I don't have what she got, or I don't have what he have, or I wasn't raised with two parents in the home, and I don't have the stability. I don't know what that's like. But those are lies that we continue to believe, that we are not enough. That starting where we are is not enough.
Such a lie.
Don't drink the Kool-Aid, y'all. Don't drink it.
I say that too. I say that too because, it gets into your system. When you drink it, it becomes something that you're like, okay, and you're just good with it. You just go with the flow and you don't do what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. And you look up, a year has passed. 2 years has passed. 3 years have passed. And you're like, man, I wrote that down 5 years ago. Did you ever move on it? Or is your journal just a journal of dreams and lacking action? Your feet gotta hit the pavement. Faith without works is dead. We need both faith and work. Faith and work.
Yep. And it can be small chunks and small pieces. I mean, it can be a post that you put on Facebook. It doesn't have to be, and that can be where it starts, but just there. It's very easy to get comfortable in one particular situation where you don't feel as stretched. So, and that's your comfort zone. But I purposefully am like, okay, I'm comfortable in this. What do I need to do next? So that I can keep growing.
True. True. So speaking of growth, how has your life changed since realizing your purpose?
I would say that it has helped me with having more focus. So when you understand purpose, you don't give everything you have to everybody. You channel your energy to certain people groups or situations, and you don't just throw it away if people aren't respecting it. So like that's something now that I'm doing, I just want to help, so I want to help everybody, but there's some people that just don't want to receive it and just aren't called to receive it. for me, and that's okay. So it has given me focus with being able to say that's okay for me not to help you. I don't have to help everybody. It's also helped me to, like you said, not feel stuck, to have joy. So it has definitely brought me joy. I had struggled with depression from being a teenager through my young adult life, 20s, college. You know, being creative, walking in purpose, helping people, whatever it looks like, definitely has allowed me to feel joy and to be free. And it's helped me to understand myself more.
Yeah.
And really understand, like, what is it that I want, and that it's okay to on a journey, and I don't have to be on a race. Because for the longest, and Bianca knows this, I think we've both struggled with it. You almost feel like you have to run at a certain pace, and you've got to finish the race at a certain time. And if you don't finish the race at a certain time, you're going to fall flat on your face, and it's not going to work out, and the finish line is going to disappear.
And you like, oh my gosh, but who am I running against? No one. Like, that's what we had to come to terms with, both of us. Like, we're running against no one, because my purpose is my purpose. Dawnielle's purpose is her purpose. If it takes us a year to publish a book, it take me a year to publish a book.
Yep.
Like, it, as long as I start and finish it, you know, the journey may look like rough terrain with puddles of water, and I had to climb a mountain and jump over some hurdles, but it got done.
Yep.
And you learn so much on the road to getting it done.
Yes. Because it's not about accomplishing.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always been a taskmaster. Let me make my list. Let me off. I'm done. I feel productive. I feel good.
I did it.
Yes. I did
it.
Yes.
But purpose is not like that. You go from one level to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, and you celebrate the journey along the way.
Yes. And there's some days where my purpose is really getting an understanding of me and my self-confidence or whatever it is. So maybe I'm not doing anything for a month or two, and I feel down in the dumps because I'm not doing anything. But it's faced me to understand, why do I feel that way? Why do I struggle with resting? Like, that's the season that I've just really kind of coming out of. I've struggled with resting. I felt like I was not doing my job if I sat down and binge watched Netflix. Now, come scoop me off the couch, but I'm playing. I definitely have a balance, but I struggled with it. I did not think it was okay to do.
Yeah.
And so,
and get into the root of that, right? Like, it's the root perfectionism. It's the root back to, like, I feel like I need to be doing something because I might miss the mark or miss the opportunity. And it's like, what are you missing if you have identified this is your season of rest? Exactly. Because after rest, trust me, is work. It's a season of work.
Exactly. And what did I do in that moment? I learned about something else that somebody else was going to need knowledge on, right? And, and I personally feel like that's what a lot of purpose is, right? You know, it's definitely coupling a lot of your experiences, a lot of the things that you're going through. And it helps you to be able to help somebody else.
Yeah. Yes. So, Dawnielle, are there any last words of wisdom, nuggets that you want to share with the ladies?
I would say the things that have really helped me is positive affirmations and being accountable to loving myself. You may have to start at the beginning or at the bottom with that. I felt like I had to, because I felt like I had no confidence. And I would say having friendships in a community and being transparent with the right people,
Yeah.
right? Not everybody, but the right people.
I
Just because
can't
you
stress that enough. The right
the
people.
right people,
Fake people.
you can have things in common with someone and love them, and that does not mean that's the person that you need to talk to them about how you're feeling on the inside.
Mhm.
And so I would say, in addition to the accountability and the right community, I would say ongoingly needing to learn or grow. So keeping in tune with things like with what Bianca does to help you with growing, or other people that are out there, that's just their perspective, on top of your community, because your community may have similar lenses to some extent, and
Yeah.
it's always good to have another lens outside of that as well. And grace. Please give yourself some grace. Please don't worry about checking things off of the list. But you do need to know that what you have inside of you, nobody else has it inside of you. Like what I would tell my kids, my students, like my thumbprint, nobody else has this thumbprint. Nobody.
Nobody.
and
Nobody.
people need what it is that you have. And it doesn't matter, not everybody's called to that for you. So some people may criticize, some people may not be interested. It probably most likely family probably won't even flock to you right away with it. It's going to be people you'll be like, really? I didn't think this person would look at me for help.
I know, you're like, okay.
But it's not meant to be something to stuff your ego. It is meant to be something to be able to help others. And in that, it also does something for you. So in humility, right? As we do it in humility, it definitely provides a reward. So
Definitely.
but yeah, I would say that those are my nuggets.
Oh, well, those are beautiful nuggets. So, Dawnielle, tell us where to find you. What is the name of your book again? What is it about? Website, social media handles?
Okay, so becoming secure, you all. So I had this in my head. I was like, man, that's what I'm doing. I'm becoming secure. Because that was one thing. I was like, I just don't feel secure in anything. And those were one of the questions. Why do I not feel secure? And as I started getting understanding, that name came to me. I am becoming secure. So, and I'm not the only one. Everyone's going through that process, and we're all in different places in life. So it is becomingsecure.com. You can also find me on Instagram at Becoming Secure. I'm on Facebook at Becoming Secure. And then I book, which you can purchase on my website at becomingsecure.com or on Amazon, and it is called Taking Breaks with Jesus. So it is a 30-day devotional, just meant for you to be able to spend some quiet time with God. And it is meant for it to be flexible. So if you can dig deeper and go through some of the questions that I have, take notes with some of the things, then great. But if you don't have, read through it, get a little nugget for the day. I realize that I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't miss a meal unless I'm super busy. And I've always been a snacker. So then I want my snacks in between too, okay? And so if I make sure that I'm meal prepping and I'm meal planning, which takes time, okay, hours, you have to grocery shop, you got to think about what's on your list, and then you have to actually put it all together. Okay, so a millisecond of what it is that you're doing to go into that process. If I'm doing that 3 times plus a day, then I probably need to do that ongoingly through meditations for my day in order to have a mind that is at peace, that is comforted. And so that was the purpose of taking breaks with Jesus. So it's just a break that you can have to remind yourself, recenter yourself in a stressful day or stressful atmosphere. And that's because I was going through a time of my life at my job, and that is really where it came from. So,
Yes.
and I am going to be writing more books as well. So you can look for my website for that. I am writing one now, and I'm in the process of a journey called Loving Myself Thin. So you all will look forward to that soon.
Yes, I can't wait to read it. Definitely, Dawnielle, it was a pleasure so much. This conversation was so fruitful and made my soul feel good. So y'all go support, buy her book. I got my copy. Follow her on Instagram, Facebook, read her blogs. Let's become more secure women walking in our purposes fearlessly, okay? And fiercely. Thank you for joining us during Let's Talk Purpose as we talk about our purposes, uncovering what they are, because we're all born with purpose. Believe that, feel that. I was born with a purpose. If you don't know what it is yet, today is the day to start doing the reflection work. It's not too late. It is never too late to uncover your purpose, no matter what age or stage of life you are in, what you have accomplished or what you have not. Today is the day. So again, my name is Bianca Cotton, founder of Behind the Confident Smile. Check me out on Instagram and Facebook at Behind the Confident Smile. And subscribe to my newsletter at behindtheconfidentsmile.com for more nuggets in your inbox. And enjoy. And again, it was a pleasure talking with you, sweet lady, and having all of you all listen. So feel free to drop comments because we want to hear from you. Okay? Take care.
Take care, you all. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Mia.